Every NBA champion is great, but some were clearly stronger than others. So today, I'm ranking every NBA champion from 2000 to 2009, from worst to best. I'm looking at roster talent, regular season dominance, playoff performance, star power, depth, defense, offense, and how good each team actually was at its peak. Number 10, the 2006 Miami Heat. Miami was still a great championship team, but compared to every other winner here, they had the lowest overall ceiling. Dwayne Wade was entering superstardom, while Shaquille O'Neal was still one of the best big men in basketball. Veterans like Antoine Walker, Jason Williams, Gary Payton, and Alonzo Mourning gave them plenty of experience. But this was also an older roster, and Shaq was no longer the unstoppable version we saw earlier in the decade. Miami finished 52-30, then went 16-7 in the playoffs. They actually fell behind Dallas 2-0 in the finals. But Wade completely took over, helping Miami win 4 straight games and capture the championship. At their best, the Heat were physical, experienced, and extremely difficult to deal with. But compared with the deeper, more dominant, and more complete champions ahead of them, Miami starts the ranking at number 10. Number 9, the 2003 San Antonio Spurs. San Antonio had an incredible regular season, winning 60 games behind one of the greatest versions of Tim Duncan. Duncan won MVP and controlled games on both ends of the floor, but the rest of the Spurs core was still in transition. David Robinson was playing his final season, Tony Parker was only beginning to develop, and Manu Ginobili was still a rookie. Players like Bruce Bowen and Steven Jackson gave them defense and additional scoring. But this wasn't yet the fully developed Spurs machine we would see later. San Antonio went 16-8 in the playoffs, defeating Phoenix, the 3-time defending champion Lakers, Dallas, and finally New Jersey in 6 games. Duncan was unbelievable throughout that run. But compared with the champions ahead of them, this team relied more heavily on one superstar reaching an elite level. That keeps the 2003 Spurs at number 9. Number 8, the 2004 Detroit Pistons. Detroit might be the most unusual championship team on this entire list. They didn't have a traditional offensive superstar. Instead, they had one of the best defensive cores of the decade. Chauncey Billups controlled the offense. Rip Hamilton constantly moved without the ball. Tayshaun Prince defended elite wings, while Ben Wallace and Rasheed Wallace gave Detroit an incredible defensive frontcourt. The Pistons finished 54-28, but their regular season record doesn't fully show how good they became after adding Rasheed Wallace during the season. Once the playoffs started, their defense became almost impossible to score against. And in the finals, they faced a Lakers team featuring Shaq, Kobe Bryant, Karl Malone, and Gary Payton. Detroit didn't just beat them, they won the series in 5 games. Their lack of elite superstar scoring keeps them below the teams ahead. But their defense, toughness, chemistry, and dominant finals performance make them one of the most impressive champions of the decade. Number 7, the 2005 San Antonio Spurs. By 2005, San Antonio had developed into a much more complete championship team. Tim Duncan was still one of the best players in basketball, while Manu Ginobili had become a legitimate star, and Tony Parker continued developing into an elite point guard. Bruce Bowen anchored the perimeter defense, while Robert Horry and the rest of the supporting cast gave San Antonio championship experience and depth. The Spurs won 59 games and were excellent on both ends of the floor. They went 16-7 in the postseason, beating Denver, Seattle, Phoenix, and eventually the defending champion Pistons. That finals became a 7-game defensive battle. And when everything came down to Game 7, Duncan and the Spurs finished the job. They weren't overwhelmingly dominant throughout the postseason, but their superstar talent, defense, experience, and incredibly balanced core made them one of the most complete teams of the decade. Number 6, the 2007 San Antonio Spurs. This was probably the most polished championship version of San Antonio's Big Three. Tim Duncan was still an elite two-way superstar. Tony Parker had reached another level offensively. Manu Ginobili remained one of the best guards in basketball, and Bruce Bowen helped make San Antonio one of the toughest defensive teams in the league. The Spurs finished 58-24. That isn't historically dominant, but once the playoffs started, they became extremely difficult to beat. San Antonio went 16-4 in the postseason. They beat Denver, Phoenix, Utah, and then completely overwhelmed LeBron James and Cleveland in the finals. The Spurs swept that series 4-0, while Parker won Finals MVP. Their regular season wasn't as dominant as some of the teams ahead, but their balance, experience, defense, and nearly flawless playoff run put them at number 6. Number 5, the 2002 Los Angeles Lakers. By this point, Los Angeles already knew exactly how to win. Shaquille O'Neal was still the most dominant interior force in basketball, while Kobe Bryant had developed into a legitimate superstar. Around them, players like Derek Fisher, Robert Horry, Rick Fox, and other veterans understood their roles perfectly. The Lakers finished 58-24. Their biggest challenge came against Sacramento in the Western Conference Finals, where they needed 7 games to survive. But once they got through that series, the finals were completely different. Los Angeles swept New Jersey 4-0. They finished the postseason 15-4 and completed their 3rd consecutive championship. This team had arguably the best superstar duo on the entire list. But compared with the Lakers teams ahead of them, they weren't quite as dominant across the full regular season and postseason. That keeps the 2002 Lakers at number 5. Number 4, the 2009 Los Angeles Lakers. This was arguably the best championship team Kobe Bryant ever had without Shaq. Kobe was still one of the best players in basketball, while Pau Gasol gave Los Angeles an elite second star who could score inside, pass, rebound, and defend. But what made this team so dangerous was everything around them. Lamar Odom gave them versatility, Andrew Bynum gave them additional size, Trevor Ariza defended wings and hit shots, while Derek Fisher provided leadership and championship experience. The Lakers won 65 games and finished among the best teams in basketball on both ends. Their playoff run wasn't completely effortless. Houston pushed them to 7 games, and Denver gave them a difficult Western Conference Finals. But once the Lakers reached the finals, they controlled the series. They beat Orlando in 5 games, with Kobe winning his first Finals MVP. This team had superstar scoring, size, defense, depth, and almost every ingredient needed for a dominant championship team. Number 3, the 2000 Los Angeles Lakers. This was the season the Shaq and Kobe era officially took over the NBA. Shaquille O'Neal produced one of the most dominant seasons ever by a center, and won league MVP. Kobe Bryant was rapidly developing into a superstar, while players like Glenn Rice, Robert Horry, Derek Fisher, and Rick Fox gave the Lakers shooting, defense, and championship-level depth. Los Angeles finished 67-15. That was easily one of the most dominant regular seasons of this entire decade. They had elite defense, overwhelming interior scoring, and arguably the best player in basketball at the absolute peak of his powers. But their postseason wasn't nearly as easy. Sacramento pushed them to 5 games in the first round, and Portland nearly eliminated them in the Western Conference Finals. The Lakers eventually survived Game 7, and then beat Indiana in 6 games in the finals. Their regular season dominance and peak talent were ridiculous. But the 2 teams ahead combined similar talent with either greater overall balance or a much stronger postseason performance. Number 2, the 2008 Boston Celtics. Boston had almost no weakness anywhere on the floor. Kevin Garnett gave them an MVP-level two-way superstar and completely transformed their defense. Paul Pierce remained an elite scorer and shot creator, while Ray Allen gave them one of the greatest shooters in NBA history. But this team wasn't only about the big 3. Rajon Rondo gave them playmaking and defense, Kendrick Perkins brought physicality inside, and players like James Posey gave them even more defensive versatility and shooting. The Celtics won 66 games and immediately became one of the best defensive teams in basketball. Their postseason wasn't as dominant as their regular season. Atlanta surprisingly pushed them to 7 games in the first round, and Cleveland took them 7 games again. But Boston eventually found another level. They beat Detroit in 6 games, before facing Kobe Bryant and the Lakers in the finals. Boston won that series in 6, finishing it with a 39-point blowout in Game 6. They had superstar talent, elite defense, shooting, size, depth, and one of the strongest starting lineups of the decade. That earns the 2008 Celtics number 2. Number 1, the 2001 Los Angeles Lakers. This is the easiest placement on the list. Their 56-win regular season doesn't fully show how terrifying this team actually was. Because once the playoffs started, the Lakers became almost unbeatable. Shaquille O'Neal was still at the absolute peak of his powers. Kobe Bryant had developed into one of the best players in basketball, giving Los Angeles arguably the most unstoppable superstar duo of the decade. And around them, players like Derek Fisher, Robert Horry, Rick Fox, and Horace Grant gave the Lakers defense, shooting, size, and championship experience. Then the postseason started, and Los Angeles went 15-1. They swept Portland. They swept Sacramento. Then they swept a 58-win San Antonio Spurs team in the Western Conference Finals. That meant the Lakers entered the finals with an 11-0 playoff record. Philadelphia finally handed them their first loss in overtime in Game 1. Then Los Angeles won 4 straight games to finish the series in 5. Their only postseason loss came in the finals. They had the most dominant interior player in basketball, another superstar in Kobe, elite defense, championship experience, and almost no team in the league had an answer for their 2 best players. Their regular season record wasn't historic. But at their absolute peak, the 2001 Lakers were clearly the best NBA champion from 2000 to 2009.